Last but not least, we have Lawyer Up Season 1 and Season 2 fulfilling very soon via Kickstarter to all our crowdfunding backers. If you're unfamiliar with Lawyer Up, it's a head-to-head card game where one player plays the prosecution, one player plays the defense. The core mechanism in it, that's true in all the cases, is that you are dealt a hand of cards, you call a witness, and you must match the symbol of the card in your examination to the previous card you played. Basically, thematically, you're stringing together a rational argument in court. If you run out of symbols to match, you can't play all your cards necessarily. So that's the thing you have to watch that you're doing. Each card has an influence value, and you're trying to gain the most influence, typically spending that influence to sway jurors. In Season 2, we have a divorce case, which I've set up here. And in the divorce case, you are not swaying jurors. You are fighting over the assets of the divorce. So who's going to have custody of the kids? Who's going to get the vacation home? Who's going to get that board game collection? And each of those assets is worth a different victory point value. So the person who wins the divorce, quote unquote, has won the most assets in mediation. Another thing interesting about the game is the people getting divorced. Those witnesses are double-sided, male and female. So when you choose to play the game, you can set up any relationship you want. The other unique mechanic for the divorce case is that when you're getting divorced, everyone has a lot of different emotions. And you have a secret emotional state that you start with, which changes the value of some of the assets. So maybe I'm feeling sentimental, and those pictures from our family vacation trip mean a lot more to me in that particular moment. But feelings can change, and this card can change throughout the course of the game. It's always secret. And maybe it changed to spiteful, and all of a sudden I go after the dog that you always took care of, and I take it because I'm spiteful and it's worth more points to me by taking it away from you. The Season 2, which is new, also has a private eye case where a private investigator is framed for murder by conspiracy. So the prosecution takes on the role of the conspirator. The private investigator is framed and has to split his time representing himself in court and trying to figure out who actually did it, where, with what weapon. So if you're familiar with Clue, you're sort of going through cards, eliminating choices. But the problem is, if you spend too much time playing cards and burning the midnight oil investigating the case, you'll be losing the jurors in the case. And if the prosecution ever gets the jurors on all their sides, they instantly win. So you can't ignore the case in front of you either. You have to defend yourself as best as you're able. Meanwhile, the prosecution has red herrings that they can send your way. And they also have a pyramid of witnesses that you have to make your way up. You go through the patsies, the co-conspirators, to get to the conspirator at the top. Then the last case in this is the casino heist, where a crew of criminals has stolen a lot of money from a casino, and you're putting all of them on trial, and you're competing to convict or acquit the majority of the crew members. So instead of fighting over a jury, you'll have the crew members, the wild card, the schemer, the mastermind, the informant, and you'll be racing up these tracks to resolve that case and lock it to your side before the game is over. So again, one of the cool things I think about Lawyer Up that the designer Sam, my co-designer Sam, and I have always tried to do is the core mechanic stays the same, but the game can feel almost completely new because of everything and the situations around it. So you can hear even from this short explanation how different that can feel. Even though you're doing the same stuff on every turn, the strategies wildly differ. And that pretty much ends our spiel. For those of you that came in late, we're happy to sort of loop back around and cover any games you missed. But that covers sort of all the things. Again, these games this will be available for pre-order shortly after Gen Con on our website.